first up, how's everyone looking? And are you expecting to see Maddie in goals tomorrow?
Yeah, look, everyone's looking really good. The vibe around the team's amazing. We've had good preparation. We've had a good hit out against Bahrain. A lot of new faces as well that had a good chance and a little bit of a, I guess, experimental lineup maybe against Bahrain with some players getting their chance. And I think it's exciting. Everyone's ready and done a good job, and everyone's fit and raring to go. And Maddie's on the training pitch. He's been involved, and he's up for the selection by the looks of it. So. Yeah, I think it's fair game.
It's exciting. It's fair game. You feel confident he could do the job as required? No warm-up games. This could be a really good opportunity if he is right to get out there and get some confidence in that first game.
Of course, I'm sure Matty will be honest with his ability and where he's at, and if he can complete full training sessions, we're doing some pretty intense sessions as well with some 4v4s and certain things like that, putting him, his body online in training, and as long as he's showing himself, I'm sure if there's the confidence between him, Arnie, and whatever, he's, like I said, he's up for selection, and I'm sure Arnie will make those decisions based on pure confidence and belief in each individual.
Okay, Mitch. Arnie was saying yesterday that he sort of plans pick his best 11 tomorrow, take it one game at a time. Do you think that that's the best way to go in these tournaments, trying to sort of keep the same 11? What he thinks is the best 11 going, rather than using maybe the games against maybe the weaker nations to try a few things with different players?
I think in tournament football, every game brings its own challenges. Every country's going to bring a whole different challenge themselves. They've all got different strengths and weaknesses, I guess. So, I'm sure Arnie will choose his starting 11 based on who he thinks will do the job to win those games. Whether or not he changes that or backs them up, that's up to him. But I know each individual within this team can do a job for our nation in each position. So, for me, obviously, it is game-by-game tournament. I think that's what our focus is. We have the complete belief that we can do a job against anybody if we focus on ourselves and do our job to our best abilities. Obviously, we just focus on India, and then the next game after that, making sure we're doing a job and getting the results.
Mate, I guess you were in Qatar, 12, 13 months ago. How has this been different in terms of preparation for this tournament and the feeling compared to the World Cup?
Look, I think, to be fair, we have a lot of experience here in Qatar. We have a good feeling here. We used them a lot during the World Cup qualifiers. Obviously, the World Cup as well, we did amazing. So a lot of the boys that have been involved throughout the last few years and experienced it here, they feel comfortable, they feel relaxed and happy here, playing here. It can be essentially a home from home for us. And, we'll use that advantage for us at 100%. And I think we will create more good memories here for this tournament here for the Asian Cup.
Anna?
Yeah, sure. Mitch, obviously quite a few changes. You mentioned the experience, quite a few changes from the World Cup squad, and I know you went there 4 years or 5 years ago. What has the balance of this squad been like? It does feel like, some fresh faces are getting a chance to prove their worth while you experienced guys are still in there. How has the mix of the squad been, and does it feel like one that can really go on and do something special, and maybe even get silverware?
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a great balance between experienced players and youth. And those young players that we've got here bring a lot of energy, a lot of quality, a lot of individual ability as well, which is awesome. And, there's some flair in there as well, which is good in some of these games where maybe you need some individual brilliance. I think we've got the perfect balance, ready to make some history and amazing memories here and really do the job in this tournament.
And just Arnie mentioned yesterday on the goal scoring front, I think it's you and Harry are the two players in double digits goals wise. What do you make of the options in attack that you have now? Do you feel like you've got a bit of a look at some of these younger guys? Obviously Bruno's in there. Do you feel like there are a few more guys who can really step up? Riley McGree, who can step up and take a bit of that load off you guys?
Oh, 100%. I think the more goal scorers we can have within the team, the more dangerous we're going to be and more threat we can be in games, making sure, certain teams maybe don't focus on certain players, whereas like if there's 5-6 players throwing themselves about, putting themselves in goal scoring positions and scoring goals, I think that'll essentially scare some opposition and make them a bit more nervous. But, look, we can all do a job. Me and Harry, obviously, we do have a good goal scoring record at the moment. Harry will let you know about that as well. But no, honestly, look, we've got Bruno Fornaroli, who's been in fire form at the moment, and you can see his quality within training and his finishing ability. You've got Cassini Yangi, who's great as well. He's an absolute beast as well. He can bring physical presence, energy, speed, power, and a finishing touch as well. So, and each game's going to bring our own challenges, and some games where we need we might need a Bruno or a Cassini to come in as well. In some of these tight-knit games you saw against Bahrain, they had a very, very tight block, very deep, and like a Bruno, you see him score some individual brilliant goals, and so they're great assets to have within the team.
Hey Mitch, are you sorry, right? All good?
Yep.
Yeah, Mitch, are you just mentioning the World Cup before, which was only just over a year ago. Are you surprised that there's only 11, 12 of you guys from there in this squad, or does that sort of show how much depth there is that Arnie's got to pick from these days?
Yeah, I was about to say that. With the depth, I think that's what Arnie's prided himself on within the last 4.5, 5 years. He's created a lot of depth. He's given a lot. He's not been afraid to give players chances when they've been in form to come into camp, and he's very much fair, I think, in giving people chances to show themselves within camp. And if they do a job, he's not scared to drop certain players and bring in new ones if that's what he believes is going to help the team. And you see that now, like you said, I think, would you say 12 players from the last World Cup squad to this squad now is crazy. But there's like for like changes within the team, and that says a lot about the ability and the depth that we have now in the Australian national team.
Mate, what about your form? Putting one in the net the other day, Arnie was saying, they want you guys to be a bit more sort of ruthless. How do you think, your own form is?
Yeah, look, in games like that was a tough test, and I think it was the perfect hit out because there are some boys, especially a player like myself, who finished their season quite a while ago. My last game was against Palestine in the World Cup qualifiers before the Bahrain game. So I did feel a little bit probably game rustiness in that sense, and I'm sure there was a couple of boys that maybe felt that a little bit as well, having their winter break. They'd been off for 10 to 14 days before that game as well, and so it was just to get that game feeling back. There was moments in the game where I was probably a little bit frustrated. I didn't get as involved, or certain moments I could have made better decisions, but that's what those games are for. And I think it was the perfect hit out, and I think in the last week or so with our training preparation for this first game of the tournament, feeling even more confident and better, and that game rustiness has definitely left the body.
Just on India briefly, Mitch. You've obviously would have had a good look at them, seen what you need to do. What have you made of them? What do you guys need to get right?
For us, like I said, I think a lot of the focus is on ourselves with our game plan and what we need to do. And I know if we do that, we can take on anyone and we can get a result against anybody in the world. So for us, we have studied India. We see they're going to be a different approach to Bahrain. I think they're going to be a bit more aggressive and a bit more energy about them. But we've looked at ways we can handle that. And like I said, as long as we focus on ourselves and how we play to our strengths, we can create a lot of chances. And then it's up to us being ruthless, I think, at both ends, especially in that goal scoring side. And we can get the job and get the first 3 points of the tournament.
Perfect. Marco, if you've got any more, I'll go to you.
Mitch, just away from the Asian Cup for a minute, going back to J1 this year, you sort of excited about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think J1 in general is probably one of the strongest leagues in Asia, if not the strongest league in Asia. So for me to be back there, I've been away for a couple of years now in the J2, but I've been doing well and I've been showing myself, and it's nice to help my team get back up to J1, and for me myself just to be back at that level as well, to continue getting better and playing in those levels so I can stay, keep improving as well. Never too old to improve and get better. And for me, I think being back in the J League is only going to help me individually, and staying in the national team setup and helping the national team moving forward is a plan for me as well. So, and playing in the best leagues only help continue that.
Is your club quite an ambitious club, that does want to just survive but, do well in the top league?
No, not at all. We're very, very ambitious. We showed that within the last year. We signed about 19 new players, a lot of new staff. They've got new facilities that are only a year and a half old. So they've invested quite a lot of money to make sure that we got results. I think it would have been basically a disappointment if we didn't get promoted last year. And they're going with that same approach this year. I've seen a lot of I've not been there at the moment, but I'm seeing on Twitter and their social media profiles that we're signing a lot of players, and some of the players have a lot of status about them, and I think we're going to go for it again this year to have our best season in J1 and finish at the top.
Just, Mitch, do you feel like you could play if required? You're obviously going to change things up alongside a Cassini or a Bruno or a John. Like, obviously, when you've played in more like a front two, it's been with one of those smaller guys sort of buzzing around off you. Could you play with two sort of more, I guess, traditional number 9s that you guys are?
No, absolutely. And to be fair, I think I'd be enjoying that a lot. I think the more goal scorers you play with, the better. And with someone like a Cassini who could take a lot of presence away from me as well and a lot of attention, or even a Bruno as well, who's very, very tidy with his back to goal. His half turns, his passing ability and his finishing ability as well is great. And we have that in our itinerary, I guess, like with our team. We can really mix it up, I guess, and challenge teams with 2 up front or 1 up top. You can play with even like a Boyley up top. We've got a lot of options and a lot of ways to kind of mix it up a little bit and either confuse or challenge teams to be able to deal with that. And for me we experimented, I think, a little against Bangladesh. Me and Borello played together with 2, so that was 2 strikers up top, which was good, and I think we did a really good job. And I think Arnie will have that in the back pocket for sure if he feels like it's necessary. And it's always good to have those backup plans.
We might call it there, guys. If anyone's got any pressing last questions, but
Yeah, you've got one.
Yeah, last one, Marco.
Is that cool?
Yeah, last one.
Mitch, what's with the expectation after the way you guys performed at the World Cup? What's within the camp or for you yourself? What's success in this tournament for the Rouge? Is it winning the tournament? Is there anything less than that? Would you see successful, or you have to win it?
100%. The belief is high, and I think if there's no one here that doesn't believe that we can win it, then they shouldn't be here. I think we have the players that can do the job. Arnie has set high expectations, and he says to us that we set our own standards with the tests that we've had against some top nations, even in the last year. We've shown that we can mix it up with the best in the world. So there's no reason why we can't have that standard and expectation that we can go on and win this tournament. And he set that belief within the squad, and I know all the players do believe that, and we can go all the way and win it. As long as like I said, if we play to our strengths and our game plan and our best of our ability on each game, we can do the job against anybody. And that's our belief that we can go on and win this for sure.